Hello and welcome to another episode of our Benedictine program where we explore how we can adapt the Benedictine spirituality to life of an everyday person in the world, in the modern world today, where how can we take the lessons learned from over 1500 years of spiritual development using the Benedictine model, and how we can adapt that model to living our lives in the modern world. There is a deep yearning in every human being for us to develop our spirituality. I believe it is part of our nature. God made us in His image and likeness, and we have an innate desire to connect with God. And that innate desire to connect to God can be termed our spirituality, our desire to have a relationship with God. And there is a yearning in each person to achieve that. I am Deacon Hilary Bengochea, and in this program we explore how we can grow that spirituality which I spoke about using the Benedictine model. And in today's episode, we are going to speak about the power, the actual power of stability. Saint Benedict placed a lot of emphasis on stability, and therefore he made sure that it took a long while of probation before someone was accepted as a full-fledged bona fide monk. During this period of probation, they will explore to see whether or not this person had the calling and the commitment and the desire and the courage to stick it out, to stay with the monastery and not leave. And Saint Benedict believed this is very, very important because stability was one of the building blocks of the spiritual life. When we speak about stability, I'm speaking about a fidelity to a way of life. Saint Benedict emphasized that the rule of Saint Benedict was a way to holiness, a spiritual path. And stability was one of the foundational blocks of this spirituality. A fidelity to a way of life. That Saint Benedict wanted his monks to commit to a lifetime of following the way in the monastery. I believe that we can take this concept of stability and apply it to our lives in the modern world. One way I believe it is a commitment to stability within family life. That as a person, you are committed and that you are grounded and you are practice fidelity to your family life. And this family life becomes like for the Benedictine monk, becomes that source of stability. And we can practice that by making sure that we are committed to our family in our family life. There is also another commitment, a commitment to community, which is more akin to the commitment and stability and fidelity of the Benedictine monastery. That we join a particular community, and that community, and we remain part of that community for life. And that community is dedicated towards following our Lord Jesus Christ. And that brings us to the third pillar, so to speak, of stability. A stability to be a follower of Christ. That this is not following every whim and fancy, what's the latest fad, what people are looking at now, and changing, but finding a grounding in the way of following our Lord Jesus Christ using the Benedictine way. That commitment was powerful. And that commitment, by being grounded in a community and being stable, one is therefore able to allocate one's mind and one's efforts to grow your spirituality. So a stability in the world allows you the flexibility for you now to be able to pursue your spirituality. Everyone has this deep desire, and even when we are not aware of it, we are constantly and we are regularly doing some sort of self-analysis to seeing whether or not we are growing in relationship with God. Very often, this can be done even at the subconscious level. But this desire to grow one's spirituality, this desire to build and to have a relationship with our Lord Jesus Christ, one can only have the time and the freedom to fully explore this if we live stable lives. So stability in life, stability in commitment, stability in fidelity into our way of life, to our family, to our community, to be a follower of Jesus Christ, frees one up to have the energy, to have the time and the focus to be able to focus on building your spirituality. So as we embark upon using the Benedictine way as a spirituality, as a means for us growing in our holiness, we have to commit ourselves to the long term of following this way of life. That we are not willing to start and stop and start and stop and follow this and follow that. That we want to commit ourselves over the long haul to living work, prayer, and study, and following the spirituality of Saint Benedict. When we dedicate ourselves to this stability and we have the freedom to work on our spirituality, one of the first steps is a deep self-analysis. Understanding who we are, understanding our strengths and our weaknesses, our virtues and our vices, and working in a stable community to help you overcome these vices, develop these virtues, and live an ordered way of life. For us to be able to do this, we must be committed to a long-term pursuit of the Benedictine spirituality. One of the ways that was particularly important for me, and Benedict spoke about it, is not to be following any fantasy in your mind. That the mind is a very fertile ground for fantasy. And in the mind, there is always fantasies that things could be better, that you want to go from this. The grass is always greener on the other side. And you want to leave this to go there and to go there. And Benedict, recognizing that as humans, we are very prone to fantasies and to fantasizing and to changing everything in the hope that things will get better, emphasize that we must be committed and we must be stable and we must practice fidelity to the way. As followers of St. Benedict's way in growing in holiness, in developing our spirituality, it is important for us to be able to say that we are committed to this way. We are committed to ordering our lives around work, prayer, and study. We are committed to living ordered lives. And we are committed to being followers of Jesus Christ. And that we are committed to a stable prayer community. And we are also committed to our family. To be always present in the reality of our lives, not allowing us to drift off into fantasy. And in this respect, Christian meditation or Benedictine meditation plays an important part. Because in Christian meditation, in Benedictine meditation, we learn to quiet our minds. We learn to quiet our mind and so stop the fantasizing, stop the fantasies. By following Christian meditation and chanting your mantra and focusing on your breath and practicing meditation twice per day, you get in tune with being in the present, in the reality of your life, not in some fantasy, not in some hope for something better, but grounded in a reality of one's life. I believe this is very important if you're following the way of Saint Benedict. And you, therefore, must also use that to see whether or not in your career, in certain skills and recognition of certain charisms that you have, to focus on building it, to focus on a career path, to focus on a way of life. I would like to encourage you to look in the ways of your life in practicing the Benedictine spirituality and see in what aspects of my life can I practice stability. In what aspects of my life can I exercise an ordered way of life. And by doing so, by not having to deal with changes and fantasies and different things, you are free now to follow and to grow your spirituality and to be a dedicated follower of Jesus Christ. I believe that gradually over the course of my life, I have moved slowly, sometimes going backwards, sometimes going forward, but slowly moving towards a commitment and a way of life that is focused on being a follower of Jesus Christ, to belonging to a parish, a community prayer group, and to be loyal to my family. Over the years, I have practiced this and I have grown in that. And I believe that my diaconate, my new role as a deacon, is part of this development of spirituality. It is a development of stability. It is a development of stability as a follower of Jesus Christ. So, your homework is to see how we can find parts of our life that we can stabilize and order. So, by ordering those times and ordering that aspect of our life, we are therefore more freed up. We have more flexibility. We are free to focus on our prayer life and our study of being a follower of Jesus Christ. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I look forward for you to growing in your spirituality the Benedictine way. I am Deacon Hilary Bengoche, and goodbye for now.